guys seem like you have so much fun up there, like you're really enjoying it. It was because we are.
Yeah.
It's real.
Is it weird to think that out of everyone in the stadium, you're the only one probably in the audience who's played that's actually been up there?
Yeah.
Keith Urban Live is one of my favorite country acts. Maybe probably one of my favorite country acts ever.
Yeah.
I've seen you guys probably 3 or 4 times.
Oh, wow.
I get such a high feeling seeing you guys play. It's like the energy.
I
the
feel
rock
that way
band.
too.
Do you feel that way on stage?
100%.
Is that why I feel that way? Because I
Yes.
see you feeling like that,
It ain't fake.
and it's contagious.
It
like
ain't fake.
Like that. But
yes.
like, what is it? Is it him sort of being the band leader and bringing that energy?
He just loves what he does so much, and he's so good at it.
Yeah.
And after all these years, you would think I wouldn't be impressed anymore because I've seen it all. With
But
him.
still, like,
still blown away.
Yeah.
Still blown away.
Do you get that? Like when I listen to him, sometimes I'll hear him just hit a chord, and every note will sound so good and ring out. And I'll go, how does he do that? Do you get that feeling too?
100%.
Where it's like, God, that's the best sounding G chord I've ever heard in my life, right? Like
I hear from fans all the time say that. They say like, you guys seem like you have so much fun up there, like you're really enjoying it. It's like it's because we are.
Yeah.
It's real. And that's why it's so successful. That's why he still to this day sells so many tickets, is because people leave that concert feeling amazing, you know? Like he says it to him like, whatever is going on outside, that ain't happening in here tonight.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's really true. Like it's genuine, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard you say in an interview that sometimes you have to work on, or maybe not work on, but sometimes you think about managing your ego because you're up there being a rock star. And sometimes, I don't know, and you have so many number 1 hit songs, and it's like you have to think about, maybe I need to manage my ego. You seem like a pretty egoless guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, like, there's no doubt about it, we all have egos, or anybody in this business who's successful in it has pretty big egos, or you wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Like, this is a funny thing, because someone that interviewed Keith from Australia, this was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, was saying, mate, did you ever think you'd get to this point? And he went, yeah, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, right.
He
of
knew
course. Yeah.
that you have to know, you have to feel some kind of ego, like, and feel good about yourself. But then we're also super, like, I don't know, like everybody that I know in this business is still like scared little puppies too, like always thinking like, are we good enough? So I go through that time where we're on stage, we feel
the best,
super strong, 10 feet tall. But then there's other times where I'm scared to death up there too.
Really?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Depending on the setting, or just same setting, different night, you might have that feeling. Yeah.
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
So, just insecurities kick in. You know, I'm not a young guy anymore in this business, and you think like, do they think I'm old? And which, we don't feel old. We don't feel our age. We don't feel any different than we did in our 20s. I know all of us in the band, but you still think that sometimes. And the songwriting thing definitely is, like, I doubt myself all the time in that business. Even though, like, I'll have to stop sometime and go, oh, no, I've done all right. And I'm still doing all right. I'm still in it for some reason.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's still, like, I go through those times where I'm definitely.
And you tried taking it in because you're like, I'm in it now, but 5 years, I don't know what's going to be happening, or whatever.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
I mean, I'll be 52 in a couple weeks, and that's not a young man in this business,
Yeah, but don't you think it's funny that, like, if you look at the last 20 years of who had the best touring, now we're in a different era with, like, Taylor Swift, but it's like the people who had the best touring was, like, the Stones, like all the classic rock acts.
Yeah, right.
And they were even older. They were in their 60s and 70s when they were selling all those tickets. It's
it's still possible.
Yeah.
It's just you get in your head sometimes. I don't know if Mick Jagger ever gets in his head about that. But
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
I bet he does. I don't
Probably.
know.
I mean, he's 83 and still crushing it.
He's still kicking it. Oh my God! Like I'm dying to see him this year. They got tour dates out.
Oh man, that new album is awesome.
Can you go to a show and have a good time? Like, who would you have a good time at?
Man, I haven't seen one in so long.
Yeah.
The last show I think I saw where I paid for tickets and went, actually drove to Kentucky to see him, was Justin Timberlake on the Suit and Tie tour. Is that what it was called, Suit and Tie? Yeah. That was awesome.
Why'd you go? That you were just a big fan? You just thought you wanted to get to see that?
Well, there was a tour that Prince did in 2004 where he started playing all his hits again. And I went to 4 or 5 shows of that tour, like flew to different cities to see him because
you're a massive Prince fan.
he's the greatest performer I'd ever seen in my life. And I noticed at every one of those shows, I saw Justin Timberlake on the side of the stage. He didn't get up. He didn't perform ever. But every single one of those shows, he was on the side of the stage watching Prince, learning from the master.
Yeah.
And then that tour that I saw, he had a lot of Prince's band guys with him in his band.
So that's why it seemed cool to go see that show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he was awesome.
Is it weird? Like, I was at Billy Joel at Nissan Stadium. Maybe that was like 6 months ago now, or that was like a while ago. And I happened to be with like a really big country artist who had played Nissan Stadium. And I said, is it weird to think that out of everyone in the stadium, you're the only one probably in the audience who's played that's actually been up there?
Yeah.
Like, is that a weird feeling? He was like, yeah, I guess that is kind of weird. Like,
Yeah.
do you ever think that when you see an arena, you're probably one of the only people who's actually played an arena?
Yeah, you know how the sausage is made, basically. But it's still fun to see. But I just rarely do it because when most people are playing, that's when we're playing. And when I'm home,
The last thing you want to do is go out and see a show or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like, I have my little girls a lot during the week, and I don't know why. I just want to stay home. And again, I don't go out and party anymore, so it's just not really that scene for me. So I like staying in.
Yeah.
You know.
Would you see the Sammy Hagar, Joe Satriani tour that's happening right now?
I mean, I would.
With Michael Anthony.
I would.
Yeah. Do you think he's the right guitar player for to fill in for Van Halen?
I mean, I don't think any guitar player is the right person.
No one could do it. Yeah.
No. I mean, I've been going on a tear again listening to those old Van Halen records.
Oh my God.
Even
the Van Hagar stuff is great.
Oh.
Do you like that phase, or
yeah,
you think David Lee Roth is the?
Dave to me was the best, but as far as a singer, Sammy is a much better singer.
Yeah.
He was one of the best rock singers out there.
Did you get too sentimental though in the Sammy Hagar days?
I mean, the lyrics are much different.
Yeah.
But I still love it. I mean, we were actually supposed to open for Van Halen.
Really?
2 shows. They were doing a stadium tour, and then maybe 3-4 weeks before we were supposed to open, which I was super excited about. I couldn't even imagine
what a gig.
meeting him.
Yeah.
Then they had to cancel because Eddie had mouth cancer, I think.
Oh my God, that breaks my heart.
Oh, it breaks my heart. When he died, like I cried because my brother and I, it was borderline obsession with that man when we were kids. Yeah, I just wanted anything. I just would stare at those album covers, just wanting to be them so much. And Michael Anthony, to me, was such a great bass player. And I actually, I found him on Instagram, and I wrote him this very long letter about what he meant to me. I didn't hear back, but he probably gets tons of those. But I was actually glad I did it. I did that for him, and I got him Daryl Jones, where I just laid it all out and just.
To me, Daryl Jones is. I remember watching Stones videos as a kid.
Yeah.
And just obsessing over everything about Daryl Jones.
He was my number one guy.
That's right. But he was playing with Sting. You found him on the early Sting records.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
He was on those like early Sting records.
Yeah, and then he was also with Miles Davis before that, but when he was 18. But then he played with Peter Gabriel and Madonna, and then he went to the Stones. But he was my guy that I based my whole career around, still to this day, because he was a great bass player, but he looked cool as hell.
He looked so cool.
Yes. And a lot of bass players don't think about that stuff.
Yeah.
They just kind of play up and they just kind of sit there and don't do much, but he was like super fun to watch.
Yeah.
And I figured out at a young age that people see music much more than they hear it, especially live. So if you act like you're a badass, then most people think you're